Marim, very warm welcome. Pakistan largely depend on agriculture and obviously that brings in weather and its pattern. Rainfall is very important determinant in bringing out crops and ultimately livelihood and prosperity of the country. So it's very important, unlike some other countries where it is just for weather. It's not just for weather, it's everything. It's bread and butter. Of late, we have been hearing of climate change. Obviously, it's a phenomena. There is another phenomenon called El Nino, and that is very important as well. That brings out drought, that takes away catch of the fish in certain parts of the world, that brings more rain, that brings less rain, droughts. So it's very confusing. Just to understand it with some clarity and have some idea about what the phenomena is and how can we prepare, at least at the intellectual level, for policy formulation. We have today invited a very important guest, Dr. Ghulam Rasul. He's the Director General Met Pakistan, and he's one of the pioneer scholars who did his PhD, and now he's working, has hands-on experience on Pakistan and knows the subject. I'm in threadbare. To his left is Dr. Fahad Saeed. He has also done his PhD from Max Planck Institute. He has worked overseas, Germany, and worked in similar areas and on other areas related to climate change and meteorology. So I say welcome to you both. Dr. Saab, to start with you, just to establish a basic premise of the subject, I would ask you, how would you like to introduce El Nino very shortly in few sentences for the audience, and how relevant that is for Pakistan?
El Nino is in fact warming of Pacific Ocean water along Ecuador and Peru, and it appears this warming episode appears near Christmas, after an interval of 2 to 7 years. There is no regular cycle of this sort of episode. When it appears, fish catch over that area reduces a lot. That's why the fishermen of that area, they named it El Nino. El Nino is Spanish word, and that was Christian community. They linked it with the Christ child.
Right.
Because this was very closely related to their festival celebrating birthday of Jesus Christ. So this phenomena, when it occurs, it shatters the weather patterns all around the world.
So fish catch is dwindled, and so it is related to the Christian festivity and the festival, and it has its nomenclature drawn from there. What are the physical features?
Physical features are the changes in trade winds and their intensity and their focus. Trade winds along the equator, they bring they are responsible for the rain pattern, and rain pattern shatters all around the world due to the changes in temperature of water and the velocity of trade winds. There are significant effects of this sort of warming episode on Philippine rain. Philippine rains suppress due to El Nino, and they face drought-like conditions. When there is La Nina. La Nina is the reversal of that.
Right.
That is cooling of the Pacific water.
Upper surface of the ocean.
Yes, and during La Nina years, there are typhoons and a lot of activity of rainfall in the Pacific Ocean and the neighboring countries. In Pakistan, we feel its effects, but effects are not well defined over Pakistan rainfall. In general, Pakistan monsoon rainfall, which extends from July to September, that is sometimes suppressed. But there are heterogeneities also, because if we look at 2010 was El Nino year, but Pakistan suffered from devastating floods, historic floods, due to very heavy monsoon in Pakistan. But on the other hand, if you look at 1998 El Nino, that was the strongest El Nino before this year. So that strongest El Nino.
This year mean 2010 or this year? 2015.
2015.
Right.
16 even.
16.
15, 16. 1998 El Nino triggered 4 years long drought in Pakistan. So there are some anomalies, but in general, Pakistan monsoon is suppressed due to El Nino, and its distribution over time and space that is also affected seriously. Coming to the monsoon, winter rains also get scattered and scanty over the temporal and spatial scale. Like this year, winter delayed for about 45 days, and winter rains started in the end of January, and then continued through February. So there was no good rain during during winter season.
Right.
And winter rains due to El Nino effect are generally pushed towards September.
Right.
Pushed towards spring. So that causes lot of
which
losses.
This current rain is.
Yes.
Right.
So we are suffering from El Nino, but no well-defined relationship is found that El Nino will suppress rain or it will enhance rain.
Right.
But there is an erratic distribution over time and space.
Right. So, Dr. Fahad, what do you think? How much related it is to Pakistan? How much erratic it is? What is the coefficient?
Like Dr. Ghulam Rasul has just very ably mentioned that the correlation is almost like 56. It is mentioned on even the data that. So if you look at the records of past, say, 150 years even, or even more, so they are, more or less around 50% times when the monsoon in Pakistan was affected by El Nino in a negative way. But the point here is that El Nino is not only one thing which is affecting the monsoon thing. So there are many other factors. So for example, there is a good association with the Eurasian snow cover. There is a development of heat low, and there is also
Development of heat low.
Heat low over the
Which we witnessed in Karachi.
No, not that. That was a heat wave. So
that was a heat wave, right?
Permanent phenomenon of a heat low that is developed on the you could say on the plains of Indian Pakistan, more over the desert area, and also
the Gangetic plains.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, not specifically the Gangetic plains, but over the similar area it develops, and it has a strong correlation with the development of winds, and also is a Tibetan plateau which has to play its role. So there are many factors. So it's not only El Nino which is affecting, which can only affect the monsoon development and the build-up. It is also the other factors. So it's sort of an interplay between all of them.
Right.
And as mentioned by Dr. Ghulam Rasul, that El Nino has an effect, but you cannot say for certain. So for me, this situation is, it's like sending the cats among the pigeons. So something is happening, you know that something is gonna happen, but you're not sure that what's gonna happen this year. So this year El Nino, it is different from other years El Nino, for example, as compared to 2010, and like again as it is mentioned that after 1997-98, so this is the worst El Nino.
Right.
And 1997-98, we suffered badly. Pakistan saw its worst drought in 1997-98, which continued after the couple of years even. It's like till 2001, the drought which continued. So, and this year's El Nino, it is even like it's even of higher intensity as compared to 1970.
It has some effect on the precipitation overall.
This year's El Nino is behaving differently as compared to its predecessor of 1978.
Right, 98.
So 97 and 98, because so normally what happens is that in the southern California even, so it usually rains during this time of the year, and they have the drought which is going on right now, no? So they were expecting that the El Nino will bring the rains to the southern California and it will finish the drought. But what happens that instead of precipitating in southern California, the current goes further northwards to the northern California, and it goes up to even Canada. And those are the regions which are receiving even the snow right now in this. And the drought is still not finished in the southern California. So this year's El Nino is behaving quite differently than its 1997-98 predecessor. And there is a NASA's oceanographer, Bill Petzer, who actually coined the term Godzilla El Nino. I mean, he called this Godzilla El Nino, and then it is picked up by all the media in the world that it's going to be a Godzilla El Nino. He's still of the view, he gave a statement on NASA's website that he's not very convinced that it's gonna finish soon, and he's of the opinion that the world is gonna see more extreme events still in the coming weeks up to April or so because of this particular phenomenon.
Right, so here we take a break, and after the break we'll continue discussion. Please stay with us.
It's diverse.
It's original.
It's SDTV.
Welcome back. Dr. Ghulam Rasul sahab, history tells us whenever the term is coined around God, something it has very bad effects. The person said about Titanic that even the God cannot sink it, and it sank on the very first journey. And now this is Godzilla. And what do you expect? Do you think we should be very worried about it, or we should go to the disaster authorities and all? What should we do? With what thinking we should resume our day, this new day?
We should be worried seriously, because not only El Nino, even climate change and other factors related to global warming, because global warming is now a fact. Nobody can deny it. That data is showing the rhythm of temperatures all around. So that is bringing changes in physical processes of the climate system's dynamics.
Right.
So that climate system's dynamics will produce so many extreme events which will be surprising us. For example, heat wave was not a common phenomena in Pakistan. Even the Karachiites had never experienced such severe heat wave. So this sort of situation will develop in the coming years, because temperatures are continuously increasing, and they are adding energetics in climate system processes, and we should be ready. According to that rhythm, we should be prepared.
For what? For extreme events?
For extreme events.
All sort of?
Yeah, all sort of dry spells, extreme dry spells, and extreme wet spells. At the same time, the flash floods, urban flooding, riverine flooding. So this sort of situation will develop in the coming years, and we should prepare for that.
How close it is?
It is happening right now.
Right, knocking at the door.
Yes.
So it has walked in.
Even we are experiencing it in different parts of Pakistan. Look at October snowfall. So that was quite unusual.
October snowfall.
When Naran Kagan was blocked for a couple of days.
Now we have some snowfall on the hills.
Yeah, certainly. This is another
After 10
surprising
years.
event.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this sort of situation will develop. Tropical cyclones are on increasing frequency. In Arabian Sea, Pakistan, although there were sometimes tropical cyclones developing, but they were not common visitors of Pakistan coast. Now every year we have been experiencing one or two tropical cyclones which are passing along the coast of Pakistan, and that is a phenomena which even if it is not directly invading your
Land.
Its winds are so strong, they will affect you, and the cloud clusters and rain bands, those are sometimes extended in 1,000 miles.
Right.
So they can sweep Pakistan area, and they can lash with heavy precipitation that can generate very serious situation.
Disasters.
2007, when Yemen tropical cyclone landed along the coast of Pasni, that created a lot of devastation in Balochistan province. In Balochistan, rainfall is a very rare phenomenon. So for Balochistan people, even the warnings were just nothing, because they were not expecting that much heavy rainfall, and there were several casualties and flash flood events in different parts.
Yeah, and river dashed and everywhere.
In Karachi, billboards were flowing along the wind. The wind was not that strong, but even 150 kilometer speed of wind, that destroyed those billboards and the tin roofs of poor houses. So those tin sheets were flowing like blades, and out of 57 casualties, 33 were
because
related
of this
to
flying metal.
Yes.
Right. Dr. Fahad, what you can add on that? What do you think we should actually do?
Like, coming to the point of climate change, so this year we have already seen a warmer January.
Right.
I mean, it's a warmer January at a global scale. Where so this year, like particularly with coupling the ENSO with the climate change, so we are up to a double whammy this year. So it's not only the ENSO, but the temperature, because of the climate change, has also they have been risen, and that is actually the double treat which we are facing right now. I mean, it like sort of sent disturbances among the scientific community, I would say, and I myself am quite worried on the upcoming few months, and also the general predictions of the forecast, especially the seasonal forecast. It's also not they are also proven to be wrong. For example, PMD forecasted in December that in January it's going to be normal rainfall, or in the northern parts, Gilgit-Baltistan and Kashmir and the upper KPK, we are going to have 20% above average rainfall. But what we have seen, so far, considering the first fortnight of February as well, the rainfall are hugely suppressed during the year of during this coming winter. So it is the uncertainty which is causing the
curiosity kills the cat, and uncertainty depresses you.
Yeah, it sort of
Right.
Depresses us. So
Right.
and as taking lead from what he has said, that we are up for a lot of climate extreme. We are the most vulnerable among the most vulnerable countries in the world. We have been ranked in top 10, and we are already facing the music. So we need to ensure that we respond to all these events.
Right.
For example, rightly, because let me add to this point. Like in the discussion, this Karachi heat wave has come into the discussion. So allow me to add a few things, that the urban heat island effect, it actually added to the severity of the event. I mean, because we are developing so big agglomerations, like Karachi's. Its population. I mean, if you add Karachi and Hyderabad's population and you compare it against the next 10 big city of Sindh, so the accumulated population of next 10 big city of Sindh doesn't even make 30% of combined population of Hyderabad and Karachi. So I mean, that is the urban heat island effect. So in our policy, we need to address these issues. So I mean,
right. So here we take a break, and after the break, we'll come to the solution side. That's the problem side, and obviously there's a demand side attached to it, and we'll talk about that. So please stay with us.
It's diverse.
It's original.
It's SDTV.
Welcome back. So, Dr. Ghulam Rasul, what should we do? Should we build more dams or educate our people? And what should we do?
First,
What intervention we can?
First of all, we have to kill the root cause. If you catch the root cause of climate change and its vulnerabilities are related to population of Pakistan. Fahad mentioned about urban heat island. This effect will be more pronounced in future.
Right.
The way in which we have been increasing the sizes of our cities. How there is no town planning at all, and agriculture lands are being grabbed by the housing sector. So we are being pushed towards very serious consequences. We have to take very serious policy action upon the sizes of the cities, and also the urbanization. And if we take on that, then we have to control the rural population flow to the urban areas, and we have to produce livelihood at their doorsteps. This policy should be given priority. What will happen with the climate change? Climate change will be exaggerating its effects. What is happening right now, the frequency of all these devastating events will increase with the passage of time. And we are not well prepared right now. We should be prepared. Coming towards dams, this is a term which is politicized, but this is our future. The rain which is brought by monsoons, heavy amount of rainfall, and this blessing of God, we are not treating it as a blessing. We are wasting it, and when we are not behaving respectfully with that blessing, then that blessing is
turned into disaster.
That is becoming curse to us. And this is destroying our crops and demolishing our houses, and we are suffering a lot due to this non-serious.
I mean, a year or two back, Parchuri was here, the Indian scientist, famous Parchuri,
IPCC
chair, and Terry later on, and he got Nobel Prize for his research, and he was telling me that he witnessed the flood. And it was all dirt mixed into the flood water on the western side of the Indus.
Okay.
So he said the worst thing was that it took away the alluvium and the fertile surface as well with it. And nobody cared about it.
Yes.
And another thing which was surprising to learn from, to hear from him, is that had there been two dams or one dam of about 7 million acre feet, it would have shaved off the effect, and there would have been no flood. You can release, and then you can, and we know that the 7 million acre feet Tarbela Dam, when came into the system, That was equivalent to the 2% of Pakistan GDP at that time.
Yes.
So, Dr. Saab, how you take dams? Because dams have been dammed in this country.
So before coming to that, let me add something to the to this urbanization.
Right.
Thing. So normally the urbanization is the indicator of a country's progress. So
Right.
they go side by side. But unfortunately in Pakistan, and as it is also happened in some sub-Saharan countries, that they are not in line with each other actually. Pakistan is the fastest urbanizing country in all of South Asia. I mean, it should ring the bells actually. As I have already given you the example of the population's density in Karachi. So, how to tackle with it? There are a couple of solutions to that. The first thing that the policies should be introduced in order to provide the basic necessities and the livelihood opportunities to the rural population in order to stop them migrating internally towards the city. So provide the basic services, education, health, infrastructure, livelihoods at their doorstep. The second thing could be that if it is tough to make the ends, then there is also a concept of intermediate cities. So instead of developing big agglomerations, let's go for the intermediate city. So for example, if somebody decides to move from somewhere from the rural Punjab, so he would either move to Lahore or either Islamabad or in fact Karachi. So because we are developing more and more these big cities, so and in that respect, if you look this thing from the angle of,
So you want an orange train in Jhelum or Chakwal?
not an orange train, but the investment perhaps in
Right.
Jhelum and Chenab of the same amount. And also now there has been a discussion about eastern or the western route of the
CPEC
yeah,
corridor.
and it has been said that since the eastern route is more developed, so one argument is given in that way. But for me, I would say that if we could develop the western route, so it will it can direct
It
the
will
flows.
add to the value.
Yeah, it can add to the values, and it will direct the flows of internal migration towards these developed areas, instead of the developed areas already of Punjab and everything, towards those areas where we do not have a high density of population.
Yeah, Kaisar Bengali has written a paper on that. He said there would be more displacement costs in eastern because of the agriculture. There would be more problem acquiring land.
Yeah, so
you're
this
right.
could be one of the talking about the environment of the climate change or the climate change perspective, that can also strengthen the argument that develop the CPEC or the western route, so people would migrate towards that region, and it will reduce the pressure on these big cities.
Right. With this, I thank our guest and thank you very much. And in conclusion, if we can say, to be on the safer side, that it's there, climate change and the bad weather is there, and we should build more dams, we should build more infrastructure, and and giving a conduit to the population for internal migration, it should be the western side of the river Indus, not the eastern one.
Yeah, water is the capital of nations.
Yeah.
So
Right.
we should take care of this
Our
capital.
water,
which
we should not use it.
Yeah.
In 2010, 59 million acre feet of water was thrown into the Arabian Sea.
Yeah.
And total storage capacity is about 20 million acre feet or less than that.
Right.
If we Mangla, Tarbela and Chashma, we just
It's
put,
very less.
it's 17 or 18 million acre feet.
No, it's around 10.
About 10, all of three
Yeah,
together.
yeah.
So it's unfortunate. So with this, we come to the end of the program. Next time, next guest, next topic. So please keep watching our program.